said, hey, you cannot bomb a city.
Oh, I have to clap. Welcome to Small Town. Welcome, everybody, to Small Town Big Gays, the podcast where we, the two aforementioned big gays, talk about queer life in a small-ish town. I'm Chance.
I'm Travis.
How are you?
Lovely. How are you?
So good.
Yeah.
Do you like my outfit?
I do. Yeah. The
Nathan
pink.
Lane, birdcage.
Well, you didn't have your hat on, though.
I did not. I have optional brunch girly hat.
I like that better.
You like this?
Yeah.
Do you like the matching taser?
Oh, my God. Jesus. That is horrifying.
Yeah. My stepmom gave this to me. Do you want to try?
No, that really scares me, actually.
It smells too. It stinks.
Have you ever hit yourself with it?
No.
You should try it.
Do you want to hit me with it? If this TikTok gets 1,000 likes, I'll let Travis hit me with a taser.
Yeah. That could be fun. You've never been hit with one before?
No.
It doesn't look like it feels good.
I can't, but it's not enough to kill me, at least.
Yeah. That scares me. I love that you brought that with you.
Yeah, you did not know how to react to that, which is exactly what I wanted.
Came with lots of surprises
Yeah.
today, didn't you? Nathan Lane from the Birdcage.
Nathan Lane from the Birdcage. Queer icon.
True. Which is actually really funny that you talk about that, because that's what I wanted to talk about today.
Nathan
I know
Lane?
no, I wanted to talk about queer icons, but not just like pop culture queer icons, but queer icons within our community and queer people who have helped us shape who we are.
You're a queer icon in our community.
I don't know about that.
I do.
Okay. I was like, what's happening?
I'm feeling chaotic this episode, so whatever happens, happens, I guess.
A little manic.
A little manic.
Okay.
Not depressive, though.
Well, it's like, isn't that part of the stages of grief? But like, it's the stages of like
Yeah.
going through emotions. Like, you're usually depressive, then it's manic, and then
it's accepting, and then it's
being okay for a little bit, and then going back into depression.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's how it goes.
I think so.
I think that's
What
real.
am I grieving, though? So many things we can't mention on camera.
Yeah. Like, I think I have a good idea.
Also, 6 days, no nicotine, no alcohol. Clap for me.
Yay.
Clap for me.
I'll give you some gay snaps.
Oh my God, I am manic.
Yeah.
The one. What I will say about quitting smoking so far. So first off, I've gone cold turkey, which I probably don't recommend for most people. It's going surprisingly well for me. But the other thing I will say about quitting smoking is so many people have told me that they support me, or that they're proud of me, or that they're happy. And while I appreciate the sentiment, it does not help.
Okay.
Every time someone says that they're proud of me or happy for me that I'm trying to quit smoking, they are just reminding me how much more I would rather be enjoying a lovely ciggy than having that conversation with them.
Okay.
My quitting hinges on my ability to forget how much I would love to have a cigarette right now. So
I'm proud of you for that.
let's take a quick break.
Well, I will not tell you I'm proud of you then.
Thank you.
I think it's probably the least impressive thing you've ever done.
Thank you.
I think it's a very mediocre goal, and you should probably aim a little higher.
This is exactly what I needed.
You're welcome.
Because I have friends who don't compliment me. They only insult me in like a way that I know it's supposed to be a compliment, because I don't take compliments well. So I don't need encouragement. I need discouragement, because then I'll do it out of spite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe, was it? Oh yeah, it was at the viewing party on Friday. There was a couple there that come to a lot of our shows and things. And they were like, one of them in particular, so sweet, was just like really giving me a lot of really nice compliments, like about the podcast and the different things doing in the community. And like, it's so uncomfortable to take compliments. Right? And I told him, I said, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen and I'm going to try and receive everything that you're saying and not like get uncomfortable and like not feel like saying like, oh no, it's no big deal. Cause I mean, it's nice to hear it. And
it is.
I need to be better about just taking in those compliments. And
I'm glad you're having the same struggle because, yeah, I don't take compliments well. And so whenever someone compliments the podcast, I'm making a very conscious effort to not do my usual route, which is don't talk to me. I'm one of those people.
Wow, you're extreme.
I'm extreme.
Okay.
Or it's either that or be like, oh, stop, whatever. Because it's just uncomfortable to accept compliments. And I'm really trying to be like, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support, etc.
Well, it's important and it's good. I think it's also like just part of like remaining humble of like, it was always like a big thing for me in my career of doing hair of, like there are a few girls in this town, that are like braggy about what they do. And like that always comes off so annoying to me.
Mm.
And sometimes I don't even think maybe it's intentional with what they do, but they just like online their presence. And so like for me, I'm hypercritical of my work and what I do. And I'm always like, oh, that could have been better. I could have done this differently. It's pretty rare that I like look at something I do and go, I love that just the way it is. Like I'm always like, oh, I could fix this.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a hard time like accepting compliments because in my head, I'm already thinking of a million things I could have done better about it. So I'm trying to find that fine line of like selling myself, but also not being like cocky about it.
Yeah. Same.
It's hard.
Same with this podcast and with all the other projects I'm trying to start doing of like, you have to market yourself. You don't want to sound like an asshole. You don't want to constantly just be talking about yourself.
Yeah.
Although I do love talking about myself. I just love talking in general, I guess.
Yeah.
Hence starting a podcast.
Yeah, I'm very much the same way too. I love talking about myself in like this kind of a setting, but if like people were like to sit me down and like try and compliment me, I would be super uncomfortable with it.
Stop, just shut the fuck up. Just don't say anything. It is nice to receive compliments on the podcast though, as the editor and producer, because I'm like, every time I finish editing an episode, I'm just like, should I go back and watch this through again or listen to this through again to see if it... No, I'm not going to do that. It sucks. Everyone hates me. I'm just going to publish it.
I'm glad you know that.
Yeah.
That's actually why I started this podcast with you. It's to try and help your reputation.
To humble me?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people hate you, and I just, since everyone loves me, I figured it'd be good to like rub some of that off on you.
Yeah. No one can hate me as much as I hate myself.
Facts.
Debbie Downer music.
That's true though.
That's true for everyone.
So before we get into talking about some queer icons of the community, I wanted to know, do you have any Roman empires?
Do I have any Roman empires? This is a good question. I've never really thought about this.
No? You don't have anything you obsess over or like think about at random times?
Yes, but why can't I think of any of them?
I was like, I feel like you probably have a lot.
I have so much. Dune is one. Three Stooges. Love the Three Stooges. They're my Roman Empire.
Okay.
Slapstick comedy. I just a brief rant about the Three Stooges. Queer icons, Three Stooges. You heard it here first. They started out, it was the three brothers. So
are they actual brothers?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Wait. Two of them were brothers. So it was Mo, Larry, Shemp. Mo and Shemp were brothers. I hope to God I'm getting this right. Shemp had a stroke. So then they replaced him with the other brother, Curly. So Mo, working girl, working driven individual, replaced his brother who died of a stroke or was debilitated by a stroke with his other brother, Curly. And then Curly died of a heart attack. And you know what Mo did? He replaced him with a guy called Curly Joe. Queer icon.
I don't know why the Three Stooges make me really uncomfortable.
Are you afraid of 1930s delightful slapstick?
Yeah.
Apparently.
I just don't like it.
I fucking love the Three Stooges.
They're weird looking,
It
too.
informed so much of my humor. Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah. I'm just not interested in it. Sorry.
All right. Fair
but
enough.
I love that you are.
Yeah.
You seem to be very passionate about them.
They're definitely one of my Roman empires.
Don't they just like hit each other a lot?
Yeah. It's real funny. They hit each other in funny things, and then they go, "Ugh." And when they punch each other in the tummy, it makes sound effects.
Huh.
Get
It's
into
like
it, girl.
the original Jackass.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it, but I will.
I have them all on DVD. All the short films.
Okay.
There's like 130 of them. We can watch them sometime.
No. No, I'm good.
Okay, so Three Stooges is one of my Roman empires.
Yeah.
Dune is another. I can explain Dune to you. I'm not going to. That's going to be Patreon bonus content when we start a Patreon one day. I'm going to sit you down and I'm going to yell at you explaining the plot of Dune. And that's going to be really fun for me.
Okay.
Yeah, what are your Roman empires?
I don't know. I was trying to think of this. Probably one that is like, I feel like probably pretty stereotypical though, is Titanic. I know it's really cliche.
I've never seen.
That's okay. I mean, I don't care about Dune or the Three Stooges. So
Yeah. We're going to correct that though.
yeah, well then we're going to correct Titanic and watch it on the VHS where we have to switch it through halfway.
Oh yeah. I think that's the only way to watch it.
Yeah, I don't like think about, I mean, I did love the movie. I was obsessed when I was a kid. But just like all of the things about it and
Celine Dion and
yeah. I like
so you're obsessed with your Roman Empire is the film Titanic or the Titanic?
both.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one of them. It's not like something I think about all the time, but it's definitely up there. I also like, I don't know if like it's Roman Empire-ish as much as like I get really into like weird rabbit holes of things, like especially from like doom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram Reels. Some really weird mentions would be I love watching videos of people going to the chiropractor.
Okay.
And listening to the back crack noises.
Yeah.
I
It is
just
kind
love
of
it.
satisfying.
Yeah, I love that. Farriers are also interesting to me. Like people
Like horse people?
who watching them clean horse hooves. I don't know.
I know. It is kind of.
Yeah.
Are you into pimple popping? You
No.
into those videos?
No.
I don't like actively seek it out, but if it comes across the page, I find myself watching it.
I did have a brief stint where I was obsessed with watching ingrown toenails. Like not like the surgical ones, but like just like a there's this lady, I think her this is really sad. The meticulous manicurist, I think was like she's probably still a thing in TikTok. And she does nails obviously, and a lot of people have impacted ingrown toenails that just like need to be cleaned out with like sock fuzz. And like there's just like layers of dead skin because that's how your skin protects it from the thing. And she just like would pull the big chunks of dead skin out of the side of the toenail.
Okay, I'm actually kind of into it. I'm gonna watch.
It's way more intriguing than you think.
Speaking of TikTok Roman empires, one of mine. If TikTok gets banned, I'm fucked because how am I going to get the kind of content that comes across my For You page that has like 3 likes, 0 comments, and this is controversial, but the most like mentally ill person in the world just making shit up. There's this one woman named Weeping Willow. She was like 100 years old. She lived in Slab City. I don't know if you know what Slab City is. So she lived in Slab City, and she would just make videos being like, the police are using heat death rays to burn me in my home, and Donna Summers is on the front lawn. That bitch is trying to kill me. Loved her. She's gone now. I don't know if she's dead, but she deleted her account or got banned, but I miss her. I miss her every day.
I love that.
And there's this one guy, my actual Roman Empire, I don't know what his name is on TikTok, but I call him now that's what I want to do to the devil, yeah, guy. Big old dude. And he does stuff like crush eggs with his hands, but he's like, with God, nothing's impossible, yeah.
Wow, okay.
He's like...
Well, he's right.
he's like praying to God as he's crushing this egg in his hand, which is a very easy thing to do.
Amen is what I say to him. Some of my favorite TikToks too are like the clearly like millennial ladies who probably are, I'm just gonna stereotype, unemployed, probably have multiple children from multiple men, and they have nothing better to do than to lip sync 80s and 90s music that's like nostalgic for them. And they put like every filter you could possibly imagine on them, and they always like have it like up here, and they're like, and they like think they're so sexy with like their weird mangled cleavage. Just like singing arms wide open, you know? Like,
yeah, I can picture it. I love it. Here for it.
Yeah, I love those too.
What do you think of the people who go viral for something like that, but then just redo the same video over and over again, trying to like continue?
I think it usually never works out that
It
way.
rarely does.
Yeah. Most things that go viral are just kind of like a random one-time funny thing that never works again.
Just like we will be.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah. When we have one controversial opinion and end up on the wrong side of the interwebs.
Should we just spit out a string of controversial opinions right now to try to...
Well, we were doing, when Jem and I were doing our Facebook Live, one of my friends did ask the question, what is your most controversial opinion to her? And he likes to ask that a lot, which is kind of an interesting question, but I think would have to be in a very safe space.
Yeah.
Do you like know one off your head? Like, you don't have to say it, but like, do you know what yours would be?
No, I can't. I would have to think about that.
I think I kind of have one. But I probably have a lot of controversial opinions.
I don't think you have controversial opinions. I think you're a person of the people.
Yeah.
You're a people of the people.
People of the people.
Yeah.
The people's heart.
People of the people.
Is that a thing? I don't know.
It's a song by Sophie Tucker, I think.
Okay, cool. Well, queer icons of the community.
Queer icons of the community.
So I would like to know, who were some people, well, one, who was the person you came out to first when you first came out?
First person. Okay, after I knew that I was queer, one of the first people was my brother, for sure. And some of my friends, but honestly, I don't remember who, because I don't keep in touch with any of them anymore. But yeah.
Was there anyone that like you leaned to as like your support at that time? Or were you just like, this is who I am, I don't really care?
I think I was just like, this is who because I was like 18, I was in a small town, and I was under the impression that like I was going to come out and no one was going to talk to me anymore, but they kept talking to me, much to my chagrin.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't think I really had anyone that I leaned on in particular. And no like I didn't have a gay Sherpa until my husband. I call my husband my gay Sherpa because before him, I was basically a straight guy that fucked dudes.
Yikes.
You would have hated me before, Tom. You would have hated me. Not that you'd like
before
me.
Tom?
Yeah.
Okay. BT and AT.
Yeah.
I still hate you.
Good to know.
Yeah, well, you probably would have hated me too, maybe. I don't know. You probably would have been scared of me.
I would have been terrified of you.
Yeah.
Because I would have wanted you to be like my...
gay Sherpa?
Yeah. No, I think I was just scared of drag queens back then.
Well, I'm still scared of them.
Honestly.
They're scary.
Because I remember meeting Jem at the bar one time, out of drag. But yeah, I was still kind of scared. So
lots of mental illness with
lots of mental, and I love it. Unchecked mental illness. They need to start posting on TikTok, and then they got me.
Yeah.
What about you? Who's your gay Sherpa?
I don't think I had a gay Sherpa. Shelly was definitely probably the person that I first like came out to in any way, which when I first came out, I said I was asexual because at that time I just like wasn't thinking about sex in any way. But I knew like I was obviously attracted to men versus women. So that was like a gateway for me to coming out with saying I was asexual because I just like wasn't thinking sexually.
So instead of doing the bi to gay pipeline that most people or that the stereotype is, which is not true, by the way.
Nope, just
You just went
asexual.
ace to.
Yeah, I think it was more to kind of like just feel out like what the reaction would be from her with that. So I think probably her and her mom were my first people I came out to, but I think the first like person I feel like I really had like my coming out to was my mom, which I remember going over to her house, and it was like the week before my first Halloween show booking, which is crazy that I like came out all
and then
around the
immediately started doing drag.
yeah. And I like showed up with a sheet and was like, hey, I need you to help me make a Halloween costume for a drag show I'm going to be in. And she was like, okay. And like, I had my bra on in the living room and she was helping me do it. And then like later I was kind of like, like what this means, right? And she's like, well, I'm assuming it means you're gay. And I was like, yeah. And then we had like a brief little cry moment of just like, whatever. I was obviously emotional release, but
Yeah.
and it was all good. And then we finished making my costume, which is a very controversial costume now that I would never wear.
What was it?
He dressed up as Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Very questionable.
What year was this?
2009. It's
And
a very different time.
Very different time, and we'll put the photo here.
There might be one. I don't know.
Don't say that. I'm going to hunt it down now. I'm going to cancel you so that the podcast gets views.
Well, I'm 1/40th. Chunky hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was good.
A lot of bad decisions were made in those days of not being culturally sensitive, but
It was a different time.
we know now, and we know not to ever do that again.
Mhm. Maybe that's one of my controversial opinions, is that you need to be a little more forgiving of stuff like
Yeah.
that happened back in the day, because it was a different time.
It was a different time. It was very it was actually like, I would say like that was like a pretty common costume,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And like looking back now, we can be like, that's obviously
Wrong.
not good.
Yeah.
That's obviously wrong. But like, it was a different time.
Yeah. I'm not proud of it, but I did it.
Yeah.
And we learned from it.
And the photo will be here.
The photo will be here.
And your home address is.
I don't have a home.
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing that up. But no, so I'm trying to think of people who shaped me in the community at that time, because obviously like we all have like our queer icons of like, and we talked about this in a past episode of like the Lady Gagas and the Beyoncés and Nathan Lane from the Birdcage.
Agador, my peering tablets.
But yeah, I think there's like people in the community that we look to as beacons. I don't know.
Beacons.
Well,
the common thing in drag culture is like drag mom.
yeah.
So who's your drag mom?
My drag mom is a drag queen. So technically it would be Misty Lovely, but emotionally and spiritually, I would say Felicia Ashton and Ophelia Junk were like, who are technically my drag aunts. But they were like the ones who mentored me the most. And like, because Dee kind of left the scene very shortly after I came out, but Dee definitely was the one who showed me and like helped me understand queer culture in general. So like exposed me to a lot of queer cinema, like John Waters films and that kind of stuff, and helped me understand that kind of thing. But Felicia and Ophi were definitely like, they took me on the road with them and roughed me up a lot. Like not physically, but emotionally. Which I needed, because you need, like, especially back in that day, you needed to be
tough.
Yeah, to like handle, people were a lot more savage then.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like drag wasn't mainstream or really culturally acceptable at that point. It was very taboo. So in order to do it, you had to have like a backbone and be a little intimidating.
Thick skin and ready to, defend yourself to a point.
Ready to scare people into thinking you were going to slash their throats with a broken
broken
beer bottle after calling you a big fat drag queen.
Yep.
That's a true story.
And guess what? Tell me.
About breaking the beer bottle?
Yeah, did you actually break a beer bottle?
Yeah. This guy...
Tell me everything.
I was probably drinking a little that night. And I don't know, that it was at the patio at the bar, and it was always like the patio was always packed with people. And at that time it was really the only like queer, even like queer friendly space. So everyone would go there, and I don't know what and actually I like this person, so it's just funny. And I think he was just like being silly, but I can't remember what he's said something like, look out for the big fat drag queen or something. And like, he was just like trying to get people to move out of my way. And like, he maybe not even said fat, but I just heard it in my head. And I decided that was not okay. And then I grabbed like, there's this big trash container of beer bottles outside. And I just started like slamming it and like getting all pissed. And then like I pulled one out and I like smashed it against the brick wall, and then like threatened to cut him. And then
Jesus Christ.
And then like I got pissed and I ran back inside and where my purse was, and I like grabbed my purse, and
because you had a butcher knife in there.
I probably did at this time too, yeah. But I don't remember what I was, but I was all worked up, and I still had this glass beer bottle, half of it in my hand, and I was going to run back outside to, I don't know, maybe jar this man some more, I don't know. But my friend like grabbed me, he's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, here, I need you to hold my purse in case I go to jail, you can bail me out in the morning. And then I went outside to scream at him again, but then I ended up stepping on the glass that I had broke and cut my foot open. So karma got me good. So that kind of ended that situation from going any further, because then I had to deal with my bloody tights. And
that is so wow. That was that's quite a tale.
People used to be really scared of me. I was
used
like
to?
Well, I mean, I think people are like scared of me in like an
emotional abuse way versus like this bitch might
physical
cut me.
abuse. Yeah. I used to there used to be I don't want to say a fire pit, because there was obviously never a fire there, but there was this barrel with bricks around it outside, and the bricks were never cemented down. They were just loose, and I loved to pick those up and throw them at people. And actually one time I threw it at the back door, and I'm really surprised that did not shatter. I don't know how it didn't. The Lord was by my side.
It's a big glass door.
Yeah. Definitely threw a brick at it. I threw a brick at Jem's head once. Have thrown furniture at people over the fence into the parking lot.
God.
Yeah, it was kind of...
I'm glad you grew up.
A scare. I just I think what I wanted to do was like freak people out so that they were intimidated by me. And then like...
As a defense mechanism?
Yeah, for sure. Like I would have never actually well, I don't say that. I shouldn't say that. I doubt I would have actually harmed anyone. Like I wouldn't have intentionally harmed them. It would have just been an accident from being stupid. But I never would have actually wanted to physically harm everyone. But it did work because people were scared of me then. And, I'm just I'm a big person anyways. So that already is intimidating. And then put them in drag and they're bigger. And then have them running around the bar.
This bitch tossing bricks at people for no goddamn reason.
Yeah. I mean, there was probably some reason.
I'm sure.
But
I'm sure at least one of the bricks was justified.
Yeah.
Probably the one at Gem.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So... Ophi and Felicia, they're the reason for all of that. That's
that makes a lot of sense when you say that.
But yeah, they were definitely two people that that was always the thing I loved about Eau Claire, and especially the drag community is at that time we've all it's all expanded into bigger things now, but at that time we were all really close knit, and we would fight a lot too. Oh my gosh, we would fight with each other at the bar too. Oh my gosh, there's times I remember getting in physical fights with people at the bar. Ophi and I were going at each other with champagne bottles, and so bad where the bouncers actually kicked us out, and then we continued fighting in the parking lot. Not physically fighting, we were getting there, but it was just screaming at each other over some. I think she accused me of trying to kill my friend from giving her a couple shots of 151, which maybe I was unintentionally.
Maybe
but she took them. It's not my fault.
She's still alive?
Yeah.
Well, drag used to be so much more dangerous and so much more fun.
Yeah.
Drag Race really, really killed that for the younger generation.
It did for that stuff.
Speaking of Drag Race, R.I.P. the Vivian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of other people who were like also queer icons to me in the community. And one particular person that always comes to mind is Bob Carr. Did you ever know him?
I did not know him personally, but I knew of him.
Yeah.
The older, very old gentleman.
Yes.
My first Fireball, I think it was my first Fireball, he got the mic and had a wonderful speech about how lovely it was to see queer joy so openly celebrated versus like when he was younger.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a really lovely man. He was very involved in theater in the town. He was a teacher. Him and his partner were together, I think, like 50 years or something like that. Like, it was wild. And his partner, Roger, was a really lovely person, too. They both have recently passed.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of cool to see, like, it's not too often you hear of a queer couple being together for 50 years, especially, like, through all of the, like, stuff that they probably had to endure.
Yeah, the AIDS crisis and everything.
Crazy. Yeah.
And civil rights movement.
Yeah. And I started doing his hair a few years before he passed, so I got to know him quite well in that aspect. Otherwise, I kind of just knew him from doing different productions and stuff that we had did, but he would always have the most lovely compliments, which sometimes, like, when you do drag, you don't always get compliments on your performances. Usually it's critiques on your performances. Everyone wants to tell you what you should be doing better, and he was always just, like, a very supportive person, which was nice to have around as a change. He was a definite queer icon in this community for sure. Do you have any?
Queer icons in the community. Well, there's one. Her name's Khloe Wold. Good.
Yeah.
Because I'm not joking. I mean, you are set up to be, the next Bob Carr.
Oh.
I think.
So dying soon?
Dying soon. Fingers fucking crossed. But no, I mean, I think you're a queer icon in the community. Like, you're the most hardworking drag queen currently alive anyway. And
partially alive.
Mostly alive. Still, your meat puppet is still being walked around by someone.
Yeah.
Who knows who.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, like, I look up to you as like an accomplished and established queer person who has led the charge of getting drag more accepted and in more places in the Chippewa Valley, and being a active participant in our local community, which is what I strive to be. So I get a lot of inspiration from you.
Thank you. Did you see how uncomfortable I was sitting there listening to you talk?
Yes, but you didn't say anything mean after.
I didn't.
So
I took it.
Progress.
Yep. We're working on this. New year, new me.
New year, new me.
Yeah. I think it's, like, easy for us to, like, find queer icons and people to look up to, like, in celebrity versus, like, in community.
And half the time they're not even gay, so.
Right. So I think it's, like, important to, like, look into your community and look to the people who are doing things and getting shit done, and how you can be supportive to them, and what you can do to change things in your community too. Because my biggest thing that I hate is when, and I'm guilty of this sometimes too, and everyone is, obviously, but, like, when I graduated high school, I was hellbent on getting out of Eau Claire. I was like, I have to get out of here. I have to experience the world. And I did in my own ways, but not in ways that I sometimes wish I would have. And through turn of events, ended up back in Eau Claire for all wonderful things. And I'm glad to be here now. But I always lived in the mindset of, like, if you don't like something, like, you are the one that has the power to change that. And I think that that's so important with, like, communities and yourself, of, like, we can all sit and bitch about being in Eau Claire and how small it is and how there's no opportunities.
There's nothing to do and all this, but yeah, we're the ones that
can do it.
And that's been my philosophy with like my job has been, running a bar. I want to see cool stuff happen. I have the means to be the one, like take Rocky Horror Picture Show, for example. There's not a midnight showing of Rocky Horror every October in Eau Claire somehow.
There was.
There used to be, and there has not been since. When did the old one end?
I don't know, but you want to hear a really great story about
Yes.
This is probably one of the most, it's up there in top 5 iconic Khloe moments of the early years of so back in the day, there's a lot of backstory to this, and normally I would say I'll talk about that later, but I'm just going to go into the whole thing and not do that. So back in the day, the drag family, we would all like come up with a theme and we'd go out dressed up together as that, and we'd all dress up, and like there was no show because there was only one show a month, so like if we wanted to do more drag, we just would go out and hang out with each other, which I miss those days so much. We'd all go to the mall before, like go shopping, like just whatever.
Cute. Would you go to the mall in drag and then, or would you go out of drag and then go put on drag?
Yeah, out of drag and then go put on drag.
Yeah, that's so cute.
It was really fun. I miss that a lot. That's probably the thing I miss the most about
the early
what
days.
has happened with drag. Yeah. So again, of the time, probably not something we would do nowadays. The theme was ghetto fabulous.
That is very of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was wearing a camouflage dress that I had made and a necklace with a gun on it.
Cool.
And bandanas. Just really bad choices all around.
We'll insert the picture here.
There probably is one. But needless to say, I was drinking that night. And for some reason, someone thought it would be a good idea after I was pretty liquored up to take us down to another local establishment, just so you know, for reference. And we walked down there, and I don't know what I was doing, but like I was just terrorizing this place. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit some of this, but tried to go in their kitchen to get some food.
Okay. Good.
Stuck my hand in the ice bin. That's really terrible.
That's bad.
It was really bad. And then they have like this this not photo booth, like telephone booth that they use as like storage for some outdoor furniture. And somehow like I got in it and like behind, because it was like those like push doors, like, and I got in, but then I couldn't get the door back open. So I had to like climb over the top of it and like literally fell out onto the floor and was bleeding because I had like, there was outdoor umbrellas in it, and I like cut my leg on the umbrella trying to climb over this thing. Yeah. So anyways, we left there and I was walking down the middle of the street because why else?
Where else would you walk?
And at this time in town, they might still have them, but they had like the drunk bus shuttles.
No, they got rid of those.
Okay. Well, they had that, and the bus was coming, and I was in the middle of the road, not moving. And so they honked at me, and I lifted my dress up and flashed them. Then we went into the parking lot of this local bar, and I chugged some more 99 bananas. And then, it happened to be the same night of the showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the university. So someone decided it would be a good idea to give me a ride there to go watch this. And at that time, my drag mother, Misty Lovely, was always the I'm not going to say the word Frankenfurter character. And like that was like her iconic thing that she was known for, because she started doing it when she was really young and would always dress up and do it. And there was a lot of people that would come to this. It was a pretty big thing. And that was actually one of my first times ever doing like drag in any sort, was when I was like in high school. My friend's sister brought me there. Anyways, so I go to this event and decide that I'm like the local celebrity everyone needs to know that night. So I'm not shitting you. There's probably 200 people in that room watching it. And I decided to go down every aisle and introduce myself to everyone and thank them for coming to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like literally all probably 200 people. It was really tragic. And I should not have been out and should have been sent home.
Top 5 Khloe moments from the early days.
And the bar that I did terrorize, I was banned from for like a month. And I did have to call management and apologize for my actions. Well, I didn't have to call them. I chose to call them and apologize. That's
very responsible of you.
Yes, it was really stupid and bad decisions were made. But.
See, at first, okay. So part of that story, you used to be so fucking punk
Yeah.
You're so cool. So cool. Walking down climbing out of the telephone booth thingy at the, walking down the middle of the street and flashing the drunk bus.
Mhm.
Drag used to be so much cooler. It's so boring now.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
But then you get to the putting your hand in the ice bin. Bad.
Yeah, that was really bad.
That's really bad. And then the Rocky Horror thing is hilarious.
It was
walking,
just so
hi, Khloe Wold. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, literally every single person. Like,
oh my god,
could not be stopped. I will say the Iceman thing, at least it was like towards the end of the ice, so it wasn't like they had to scoop like a whole thing and like get rid of it, and it was bad.
It was the ice bin, right? Not the machine.
Yeah, it was like just their bin behind the bar to
that's good.
Put in drinks. So it wasn't
they just burnt that. There's nothing.
Yeah, it was just silly dumb. And
Not
like
your best
they weren't
idea.
like the people who worked there weren't like mean about it. They're just like, yeah, you were a little out of control, but it's nothing we maybe not to that extent, but like I wasn't like causing severe damage.
Yeah, you weren't causing severe
they didn't
monetary
kick me, like, they
damage.
didn't kick me out, you know, like I was just being dumb. But yeah, I have a lot of fun stories like that from back in the day we'll go through. I have so many stories to tell you. God, you didn't know me for years.
Things used to be so much cooler.
Yeah.
Before smartphones, when people could have fun without being worried about being filmed.
Yeah, I probably would have still done it anyways.
Yeah, probably.
I needed to like make my mark.
Hmm.
And I did.
We need a young drag queen to feel like they need to make their mark.
I don't think I want to deal with that.
I will.
I think we do. It's just like different on how they do it now. Like, I think young drag queens now, instead of like coming in and trying to make their mark in the community and like that way to like get known and like have people kind of like a little intimidated by them, now they just like come in and think like they have to be flawless and like their makeup has to be perfect and they have to do like all these like boom cat performances and do all this stuff. And it's just like, it's so boring.
Well, it really is the Drag Race effect.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, you even look at the early seasons and how unpolished and whatever. And then like season 4, it got put on the map. Season 5 and 6 were like the two big ones. And then by season 7, 8, they're spending like $10K on their looks for the show alone. That is what the young queers see, and then they want to get into drag, and then that's what they think they have to emulate. And I really hope we get some queens or some drag performers that are just like, fuck that. Let's just go back to the unpolished, the wild stuff that it used to be.
Yeah, I think there is like, obviously there is some. For sure, it's just not as popular because it's not as marketable now, and drag is a business, so it's all about being marketable. I'm
talking local. I want a local girl like that.
Maybe you should be that yourself. Maybe you should be the change you want.
I have been thinking about starting to do drag.
Yeah,
a little bit now that I shaved the beard and am more okay with the 2 weeks I would have to suffer if I shaved again. I might
do bearded drag.
I could do some bearded drag, but now, I'm so short. I could do not bearded drag too. I'm versatile now.
Verse. Love that.
Yeah. Verse switch.
Cool.
Kind of tangent, but my favorite era of drag is RuPaul's genderfuck era in like the 70s and 80s. Yeah. Those old pictures of RuPaul, love them. But back to what we were talking about before, a very long tangent. Being the change you want to see in the community.
Yeah, I was like, what were we talking about? Rocky Horror. Okay.
So again, if I want to see punk wild drag queens, I should become the punk wild drag queens.
Yeah.
But that was one thing with running the bar, and like Rocky Horror, for example, is nowhere downtown specifically does a midnight showing of Rocky Horror anymore. So I was like, I have the means to do that. We're going to fucking do that. And so we've done it 2 years. But yeah, if you want cool shit to happen, someone has to make it happen. Why can't it be you?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I feel like that's like the cool thing about our community right now is like, I feel like there's kind of this, I don't know if surgence is the right word, but I feel like the surgence of like people who are in their like late 20s to like early 40s that are like, we're from here, we grew up here. Probably a lot of us have like moved away and have come back and are like, let's make cool stuff here because we can. And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of it comes out as like restaurants and not necessarily like other things to do. So I'm loving the direction this community is going. And just like, for example, I started doing that stand up at the Eau Claire Improv Theater, which I think is amazing. And I love that little theater and like what they do there. I think it's so cool. And that, it's been in the last like year and a half. I mean, obviously there's been Clearwater comedy around here forever, but like just what they're doing, I think is great. And I think there's so many cool things on the horizons. And yeah, if you want to make it happen,
you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Someone has to. The cool shit that you want, that you go to and that you enjoy, the cool events, someone just started doing that. Yeah. You don't need someone's permission.
What are some things that like you would love to see happen in far as like queer community? Anything that you like think would be cool to see happen?
My one big one, I want to see like a giant like Pride block party.
Yeah.
During Pride, because we have a pretty big Pride celebration like in the park, and it's family friendly and there's a bunch of vendors and it's lovely. But I'm a big adult entertainment person.
Yeah.
As far as like, I mean, working at a bar, I throw events for adults. Like that's where I'm not interested in personally doing like the family friendly stuff. It's just not my forte. So I would like to see like a huge Pride block party for specifically like adults. Yeah, that's the big one that I personally am making happen next or this June, I suppose, June 2025. That'll be happening unless I am dead or something.
We're really like talking about a lot of death. There must be something on the mind.
Yeah. That's because Donald Trump is almost president again.
So you're going to kill yourself?
No, maybe. Unrelated, but maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be really cool. I think it all comes back to like I definitely have evolved my persona into a more family friendly person just because it's marketable and it's I don't need to be wild and crazy anymore. I don't really drink and don't have a desire to go back to that. Like,
and also you're just getting older.
True.
Like,
yeah, I'm
that's old. That's part of it. You're not old. 39 plus 7 is not old.
No. Okay.
I have no idea how old you are.
I am not old.
You're 37, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not old.
No. I mean, I feel old sometimes in the spectrum of
youth.
Yeah, and queerness,
Well, yeah, true. That
like
actually,
dog years,
that's fair.
Queer
years are dog years.
But yeah, I feel like there is a lot of family-friendly Pride events, and quite honestly, it's because I plan most of them. Yeah. So, because there are a lot of queer youth in this community, and I want to like give them the opportunities that they don't really get year round. Because there's not a lot of opportunities for that. But it would be nice to have like a more kind of raunchy adult.
Yeah. Well, and the family friendly stuff is important. Like, it's just not my thing. That's your thing. You can do that. Yeah. You do that, and then you can help with the adult stuff too, because I need help. And I'll help you with the family friendly stuff. Just know that I fucking hate children.
You should do balloon animals.
My mom long said that I should be a clown.
Well,
I'm not ruling it out. There's a clown college in Minnesota. You've been taking stand-up comedy classes. I'm going to go to clown college.
I know how to make balloon animals.
I do not, but do you know how much clown college costs?
How long of a course?
It's like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And there's multiple courses, so it's like a clown camp.
Okay.
And it costs like $2,500 or something. But here's the fucked up thing. So sign up was like last September or something. I looked at it like mid-September. It was full. It was like booked out within a week of it opening up.
I think it's a very profitable thing.
It's a very profitable thing because there's like, I don't know how many, there's maybe a couple hundred people who can go to it any one year. It was all like booked up, and you could get on like the early bird wait list so that you get a little bit of a discount, you get in, whatever. I got to look into that again because I would go to fucking clown college for
Would
like
you
3
be like an
weeks.
adult friendly clown or like a family friendly clown?
I would be, I'd switch the act based on the crowd. Like if a bachelorette party wants a sexy clown man, especially once I get abs and cum gutters, then I'll be that for them. But I was looking at like the courses that they have in this clown college, and there's like slapstick, which is my thing.
Yeah.
Three Stooges, all that I'd be right there. The art of like pie throwing, clown ministry, because clown ministry is a big thing.
One time we all decided to go out on Water Street downtown here. Which for those listeners who aren't from the area, which I would assume most of you are and would know this, but Water Street is like our college bar area. So it's all just like bars where the college kids hang out. And so having a bunch of drag queens come down there is a little shocking, especially back in the day, because it was not a thing people saw that much of. Sometimes we would not be allowed in to the bars. Like they can just deny service to whoever they want. And we have been denied coming into bars sometimes.
Interesting.
But one night we were at, I think it was that's like the big dancey one, right?
Yeah.
And it was packed in there. It's always packed in there. And they have like the the outdoor patio. And I was just like sitting on a bench there and probably acting a fool and deserving the attention I was getting, but people were just staring at me like a circus performer. And so then I just thought it was funny and spread my legs and pulled out my purse and asked people if they wanted balloon animals. I didn't have any balloons to do it, but I just thought it was really funny because people were staring at me like I was a clown. And
so you started acting like a clown.
I should have, and thought for a long time about actually carrying balloons in my purse because I do know how to make like some basic balloon animals.
That'd be really fun. Actually, I could see that for you. And then it helps with the whole family friendly drag queen because hey kids, you want a balloon animal?
Just like smoking a cigarette.
Oh, cigarettes.
Oh yeah, it's like sorry to trigger you. I'm really proud of you though for quitting.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Good times. Yeah, I think that would be fun. A good black party. I had an idea and I would that I was been wanting to do and talk about, and then it just totally
gone.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
But it'll probably come back to me at a random time of something that I would like to see happen. There's a lot that I would like to see. I think this summer I really want to do like queer comedy show. I think would be fun.
Queer comedy show would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Our gay trap shooting league is going to happen.
Yes. We obviously are going to have t-shirts, but I feel like what would be cooler is if we had like Letterman jackets for the queer trap shooting club. Like, like the members only type jackets. And I feel like we need to like just go into really obscure places. Like, I don't know, like just really obscure bars wearing them.
Just all of it, like a pack of gay people comes.
Yeah.
Pack of fags walks into Lake Cali Sportsman's Club.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just like, I hate beer, but I feel like it's necessary to like just have a beer and reminisce about how many clay pigeons we got.
We did have a listener letter come through.
Oh.
Very brief one. Context for this one. We co-hosted, I suppose, a drag race watch party for the new season. What did you think about the episode, by the way? Should we start doing drag race recaps now that the season is?
We could a little bit. I don't think it's necessary. There's enough people that do it.
There's enough people.
It's fine. I do love that they at least brought all the queens out and didn't, instead of doing like 6 this time and 6 the next time. I love that they just kind of did everyone and then they did like the ranking. So I enjoyed that.
It is much better to split up the talent show than it is to just split up the queens.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all this is to say is we hosted a drag race watch party this weekend, and Katy Perry was the special guest judge. Uh-huh. So the email that we got is just, so Katy Perry ? I want to hear about the Katy Perry slander. Can we hear the deets on why you just love her so much? Also bullying? I don't know what that bullying part is.
Oh, I I think I was going on quite a bit about bullying at the viewing party.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Yeah.
So why do we hate Katy Perry?
I don't necessarily hate Katy Perry. I don't know enough about her to care about her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where my hatership for her comes. But I feel like I have noticed a lot on social media that majority, I feel like a good chunk of the queer community did not enjoy her as a guest judge. I don't think she added much.
She did not.
To it. I mean, I get like she's a pop diva, and I feel like there probably is a lot of queer people who do enjoy her music.
Well, the whole thing with Katy Perry is, first off, I will say my only real connection to Katy Perry is, again, the getting grinded on to Dark Horse, my first time at a gay club. Horrible song. I know that now, but, you know, when there's a twink.
Yeah. Is that on Teenage Dream? Dark Horse?
No, I think that's the album after.
Okay.
But I don't know. I have no fucking clue, honestly. Yeah. Roar is a good song also. Wait, no. Is it Roar? I don't know. There's one song, Never Really Over. That's the one I like. Roar is a bad song. Never Really Over is a good song by Katy Perry. I will say that. But the issue most people have with Katy Perry right now anyway is the Kesha connection. Mm. So Kesha was sexually assaulted, allegedly, by Dr. Luke, I think his name is, which was like her producer. And so it's been an entire saga of Kesha extricating herself from Dr. Luke's clutches, which is why the song Joyride was such a big deal, because that was like her first song completely independent of him, which she's been fighting for essentially since like her second or third album came out.
Yeah.
But Katy Perry continues to work with him.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people hate Katy Perry right now. Her music's meh. And her last album, I didn't listen to it, but was apparently awful. Yeah. And the song that they lip synced to on this first episode of Drag Race was off the most recent album. I mean, that's why she was there promoting it. So stupid.
Yeah. Such
a terrible song.
She's just so irrelevant to my life. I just don't hate her, but I don't like her. I don't know enough about her to have opinions. I don't want to know any more about her unless there's like a really great resurgent in music. Then, cool. But I think people should online bully her.
I think we should all online bully her.
I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and teach them how to bully well, and then things will be better.
I think we got to do a little bit more bullying in this day and age.
Yeah, I say that a lot, and people just think I'm joking, but
I'm not. Some people deserve it.
I myself don't want to bully anyone because I want to keep my squeaky clean image, but I keep people around me who do the bullying for me, and that's why I have a drag family and drag children. If you keep terrible people around you,
then you don't have to be the terrible person.
You don't have to be the terrible person, and they make you look better.
That's fantastic advice.
And that's why I keep certain people around me. All right.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
I think that's going to wrap it up for this one.
Cool.
Thank you for listening to Small Town Big Gays. New episodes every Friday. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Shout out to TYB. Theme song and outro is 1 a.m. by TYB. Check his music out. Spotify, Apple Music. Follow us on the social medias at STBG Pod. Email us smalltownbiggays@gmail.com. Yeah. Follow us on the shit. It's in the episode description. Okay, bye.
Bye.
When is it all